Welcome all you awakening wonders out there. My name is Chrissy and today I'll be giving you a prediction reading for the 5th of September. Now firstly, I've just got a little bit to talk about. I was talking about the global walkout. It's happening globally, obviously. There's a channel called Reignite Democracy Australia. Go check that out. Maybe subscribe. Help this thing to grow. Let's share some information. They released their first step of the global walkout today. Now this is going to be done as, apparently, I've been looking into it, it's going to be done as a process. So they're going to do the things that sort of fight back against government, but in a different way, rather than protesting, which we all know it did work. It gave us our freedoms back, but it didn't really stop government with their rollout agenda. So the first step of the global walkout is to use cash for a week. So they've come up with this plan moving forward that we can do things that sort of affect government. So what you're doing every time you use the cash, you explain why you're going to use cash to people. So it's like spreading the messages, I guess, and letting people know that, oh, we need to keep cash in society, and maybe planting those seeds. You know, we're good at planting seeds. I know you guys here are. So that's the first step. This week, try and use cash as much as you can, and not use our credit cards and things like that and all our cards. So that's the first step. So we want to try and keep cash in our society. That would be absolutely brilliant. So what have we got to lose? We might as well do it. So that's the first part of the global walkout, is to use cash for the next week, if you can. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is how hypocritical this is all looking to a lot of people, not just us. I watched a video this morning with Harrison Ford talking about climate change and how it's a real desperate situation, and we've got the Kardashians and we've got Steven Spielberg and like a heap of these elites all still flying around on their jets. So other people are seeing this too. It's not just us. It's the hypocrisy of it all. Using all the carbon emissions. Well, we're not even allowed to like drive our cars around, and we are being forced to get electric cars. Completely mad, isn't it? Completely mad. The other thing I wanted to say is that on the channel Redacted, you guys might want to go check them out. They're really good. They were talking about, in, I think it's Washington, a group has come together of whistleblowers and people telling their truths. And these movements are starting. I called them like truth movements the other month. Well, they got doctors, airline pilots are talking about how they are unable to fly now because of their blood clots and their vaccine injuries. There's army people, there's a variety of people that have all come together, and they're like whistleblowers that are actually calling out a lot of these things now. So I just wanted you to know that those things are happening. They're not simmering anymore. They're coming to the surface. And the last thing I wanted to touch on is a lot of these areas that I was talking about, like Netherlands, Sweden, all these regions, you're getting hit. I know, Louise, you said Wales was, where they're all getting hit now with these electrical strikes and things like this. Now you've got to reduce your power coming into winter. I know you guys are coming into winter. And this is what's currently going on. They're pushing that. But see, where's the logic in this? Because they're telling you to buy electric cars. Now we know, if you're on my channel, we know this is not about saving the environment. Otherwise, why would you be pushing electric cars if there's no electricity? So the logic is they don't want us moving around. They want to be able to control us, and they can control people moving around. If everyone's got electric cars, they can stop the electricity. They can control things. So we know there's no logic. Now these people are seeing a lot of that. So we don't have to worry too much about all this because there is no logical sense. They're not in mass psychosis for all of this. And we know there's a lot of trickery. You should see the number of ads on TV. I did talk about that the other day. Ad after ad after ad about people putting plugging in their electric vehicles. Oh, helping the environment. Yes, it's already started, all the advertising campaigns. Oh, it's wonderful, isn't it? Not. So that's what I'm saying, is people will start to see that, because logically you're being told this, turn all your electricity off and cut back, but you want us to all have electric cars? Like, no logic. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that thought. Okay, let's get started. We'll see what comes up for the 5th of September. I'll just close my eyes. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button, set comment below. You know I love hearing from you. We have some great chats here. And I'll see what comes up. These people waking up are bewildered. They are. They're just bewildered. It's like they're even showing me like this. It's like total shock. They're in disbelief that this is happening to their life. They can't believe it. Because you know what they're realising? They're realising that the CV virus was nothing. It's nothing on all of this. See, all of this is the beginning of the iceberg starting to be exposed. I'd always talk about there was more under the surface. The CV was just a little tiny tip of the iceberg rather. And now the water's like subsiding and the iceberg's being exposed, and these people are being exposed to it, and they're seeing it, and they're bewildered, and they're going into severe shock, I would say, when they realising their lives are being taken from them, chipped away at bit by bit. Oh my God, they're so bewildered. Saying deer in the headlights. It's that deer in the headlights, like like the spotlight's on them. Well, it is really, because we're all looking over at them going, like, what are you going to do? I always talk about us here on my channel, like doing our little bit. We're always trying to make a difference and, you know, doing these global walkouts and trying to do all the things we stood up in the beginning. But now we are looking at them as though, what are you going to do? Come on, do something. So spotlight is on them. They're deer in the headlights because they know they have to do something now. Oh, my gosh. See, they never thought they'd have to fight back and do all this stuff. Because they were the followers. Remember, they were the sheep that just followed government. Hang on, let's see what else we get. There's a ton of information trickling down to these people now. They're getting it. They are. That's why it's important that we still share a lot of information. Information that's safe. Be very careful with the jab information. I did talk about that, you know, that I really pressed that here. Because we don't want to go back to people attacking us again. We can share the things that the government is like now focusing on and rolling out, because that's fairly safe, because these people need to see that information. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I'm getting it's all happening in England. It's all happening in England. Oh, France. I get Belgium, Munich. There's so much happening. And this, I would say, is to do with the rollout and the reset agenda. They're really pushing these things hard. England, I did say it's probably going to come hard and fast there. So, but you'll be ready for it. If you're watching my channel, you'll be ready for it because you know it's coming, and we've all been communicating here. And it's going to come really fast. I am getting that. Hang on. See, the problem is with these people waking up, they're still being drip fed. It's like they're showing me literally like they're in a hospital bed and they've got the drip in, you know, with the cannula and everything, and they've got the drip and they're being drip fed truth information. So it's not pouring out to them. It's just being drip fed. And it's not a bad thing if you think about it. When you've got a drip in, it heals you sort of slowly. It's a way of getting, I suppose, usually antibiotics or fluids or something like that into you, so your body doesn't sort of go into shock. Because if you hit the whole body with a big bag of antibiotics or whatever, your body probably wouldn't cope with it. So for these people, this is an example. These people that are being drip fed, it's actually a good thing because it allows them time to absorb the information and they can see it with better clarity. So that's what I'm getting. So they're being drip fed the truths now. It is, but it's only drip fed. So it's still a slow process. I keep saying that. Their waking up is a slow process because they're not like us. I keep saying that we're intuitive, we're sensory, we sort of understand things from a different perspective, and these people are only just starting to wake up to their other, I guess you could say, like skills such as sensory skills and listening skills and reading signs and synchronicities. They're only just waking up to that, so they're still getting drip fed the truth. So this is still going to be a process moving forward. It's not just going to happen just like that and they're all going to stand up and everything's great. We know that's not going to happen. So that's an unrealistic viewpoint we don't want to have either. But the fact that they're standing up, they're fighting back, they're having strikes, and they're waking up is great. That's what we need. We need them to be drip fed the truths. It is. It's happening. Hang on a sec. And it's saying that we've got to still remove ourselves from all this and stay right away, like right away. It's almost showing me us, and sometimes we're sitting on the mountaintop on Terrabella Mountain, or you guys watching my channel, we're up there with our flags from all different countries and we're just sitting there relaxed and chilled. But the message now is for us to kind of go behind the mountain. So if you think of going behind the mountain, it's like a safe place. So it's almost like if there's a storm coming, you're not going to stay sitting on the top of a mountain, are you? Because that's going to be pretty uncomfortable. You're going to go down the other side and you're going to seek shelter down below, beneath the trees, out of the wind. And that's the message I'm getting for us today, is to seek shelter away from the storm, which is all of this. As much as we're still going to try and do our little bits and bobs, we still have to protect ourselves. And that's the biggest message today, is we have to I guess you could say, go to our sanctuaries, which could be your home. It could be wherever that is, whether it's just kayaking down the lake. It doesn't matter where that is, but you've got to really remove yourself, because these battles and these fights aren't ours anymore. I keep saying that. They're not for us. So when there's a storm coming, you have to seek shelter. So that's the warning I'm getting. Oh, they're showing me again that Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy went down into the cellar. Was it? Yeah, she went down in the cellar, and the doors, the wooden doors, you have them in America, that you can kind of get to the access under the house through the wooden doors into the basement or the cellar. Some people call it the vegetable room or something, don't they? I'm getting that image as well. Like, go to your safe place. It's like when the hurricane and the storm is coming. Like, we've been sitting like in the eye of the storm. I've talked about that for a while, our calm, peaceful place with the storm swirling around us. But it's almost showing me like now this storm's going to get so destructive that we have to remove ourselves from it and stay very, very safe, because we're seeing the storm coming. So we're not going to stay sitting on the mountaintop now. We're going to it's retreat, but it's not retreat like shying away from things. It's retreat as in protecting ourselves. So that's what I'm definitely getting, that the storm is brewing. And I reckon it would be in a lot of these people. We talked about the volcanic energy and the eruptions that were going to happen. So maybe that's something to do with it. Well, people will be so furious when they realise what's going on, won't they? Let's see if there's something else today. Yeah, I'm just getting that the capitals are going to get hit hard. I think we know that here on my channel. We know they're going to hit the capital cities really hard first with these renewables, their smart cities. Gosh, we've got, they showed something on the news yesterday, and it was some silos that they were covering up, and it had all this modern, like, it was like plants growing up the wall, and it was just so bizarre, and it just looked like, to me, a visual of a smart city. You know how you get that vision of a smart city, like the modernising. And look, like I say, it's not all bad, but they are going to come for the capitals first. So I do feel it's going to start with the capitals and then slowly spread out, because it's going to take a lot of time. Like I said here, electric vehicles don't really function that well in the country. I told you they were being towed the other day from up the mountains because they just didn't have the charging power to stay sitting idle in traffic, and their batteries were going flat. And because they went so flat, it took them like 6 hours at the next town to charge them all back up again. So these are the kind of things that government leaders haven't really thought of. And how are people going to cart horse floats? You know, we know in the country areas there's a lot of problem solving that would have to happen around that. So I definitely feeling like it's the capitals, the capital cities that are going to be targeted. This is globally. They're all going to be targeted first. So, things are a long way off. Plus, like I keep saying to you, this hasn't gone smoothly for these government leaders and elites either. They think it has in their own mind, but it hasn't. It hasn't gone smoothly because there's always things that go wrong. And like I said, it's all good when you've got a drafted plan on paper, but you put that into reality and it doesn't always go to plan, as we know. All right, I'll see if there's anything else to close with today. Now, they're showing me people are herding together. So they're showing me again that visual of the cows, but it's the cows are herding together by themselves. So again, this could be the truth movements, people standing up to try and get their lives back, but they're herding together, and it's like there is no leader, which is a good thing. That's what we want to hear. There's no real leader. It's just the people working together now. This is the people waking up. They're working to try and get their lives back. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting. They're just showing me these big movements of cows just moving, but they're moving in big groups now. And that's what has to happen. They have to come together in big groups in order to have any pushback against government. We know that here on my channel. So I'm getting that visual of the cows kind of moving around in these big groups now. Hang on a sec. Yeah, and what the guides are saying is that it's like these people want the simple life now. And they're showing me like the cows just going over to the water trough and having a drink and just enjoying the sunlight. And that's the representation of these people waking up. They want to get back to their simple life because they know life isn't simple anymore. It's becoming overly complicated. Oh my God, and we know that here, don't we? Overly complicated. We're only viewing it from afar. We live a very simple life. If you're watching my channel, we pretty much live a very simple and basic life. Our lives are very uncomplicated, but now these people are wanting a very uncomplicated life where they can just roam free, like the cows, eating the grass, doing their own thing, having a drink if they feel like it. And this is what I'm getting. That's what these people, because they're tired of all this. These people waking up are tired of all this. It's too much thinking. They're having to think all the time. So you got to remember, a lot of these people, when they fell for the jab event, they didn't have to think. Oh yeah, government's got our back, we don't have to think. And these are the way a lot of these people are. They just comply and they go along and they don't have to think. But now they're being hit that hard with everything, they have to think. And this is exhausting for these people because they can't get it clear in their head. It's like I keep saying, they're not piecing together that this is all together, that it's under the reset umbrella. I keep saying that. They're seeing this all as separate, like, oh, and the thing is, what it's doing to these people is it's sending them into panic mode. When you think about how they're pushing all this global renewables and all this, you got to have an electric car by 2030. Like, there's all deadlines too, as we all know. That puts people under enormous pressure because they start panicking. If they've got an older unleaded car or diesel car, like, we know what's going on. So we don't quite have the panic in us because we're like, oh yeah, whatever, good luck with that, getting that all done by that date. I mean, we know these goals are kind of unrealistic and they try to bring them forward all the time. I always say that, which they do. They did here in Australia. I think in Canberra they brought some renewable electric cars or something forward to 2025. Sorry guys, I'm getting that tired energy from these people because they just see it all as separate, like the farming. See, they don't see the enormity of the things that we do because we've got our eyes open to it and the information kind of comes to us, whereas they're not getting all the detail and the things that we are. Like, they never get the Pfizer data, do they? We know that. Classic example, just using that as an example. So, you know, they'd still be getting jabbed because they've never seen the Pfizer data. We know how it works because that's pushed down the algorithms, thanks to Zuckerberg. So now that's what we've got. These people are just, they're panicking inside. So they're having to, like, make decisions now and they're having to do it. Their government's, well, we know their government's doing it for them. But see, this is the trickery. You need to be helping the environment. You need to be getting your electric car. You need to eat less meat. We know how it's going because it's the trickery of trying to pretend that they're incorporating the people, but they're not. And see, now this is putting that panic and all this fear and everything back into these people that are waking up. Oh, and they're exhausted. They're exhausted. Oh my God, thank God we're not there. That's all I can say. It's so good feeling energized and upbeat and getting our veggies in, our veggie patches and doing all the things that we love. You know, it's such a great feeling, isn't it? It really is. Hang on a sec. Yeah, so that's definitely the guidance, is just to like stay in that valley, protected. And see, that's another saying that Eckhart Tolle actually has. Sometimes he says it's actually good to be in the valley. It's funny, isn't it? We get different things here. But, you know, he says some people like love to be on the mountain. And if we think back, this is a bit of a different sort of perspective of things. When these people getting jabbed or getting empowered by their government and everything, they sort of felt like they were on the mountain, but it was all a false illusion. They actually weren't really on the mountain, but the government pretended that they were on the mountain and that they were doing all the right things. And then the thing was that we were quiet in the valley. So we were kind of protected in the valley during that time because we chose not to be involved in all of that. So this is what like Eckhart Tolle says. Sometimes it's good to be humble and just be in that valley. And that was a stage that was really important to us back then, to remain in our own power and just to step away from things by being in that valley. Well, that's what the guides are kind of saying to us now. We need to sort of go back to the valley for a little while and just stay low and quiet and humble. We can still share the information around sort of specific certain things that are coming out. But that's what I was saying. The fact that these people were fed, their egos were fed and they were put on this like pedestal and that, it was a false illusion because we know that the rug's getting pulled from underneath them now. Oh my God. So message today, stay in the valley, nothing wrong with the valley. And that's the guidance today, is just to remain in the valley. Hang on a second. I think it's a Dire Straits song, isn't it? Down in the valley's so low. Is it Dire Straits? There is a song about being in the valley. Anyway, I'll get back to you if I think of it. I'll put it in the next video. Oh, it'll come to me. Sorry, guys. Sometimes they just give me a tune and I can't quite get to it. Anyway, I'll put it in my next video. I'll work out which song it is, and that's the song for us. Okay, I'm going to say goodbye from Australia. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Just keeping you up to date what's happening. Don't forget the global walkout. And use cash for a week. Let's see what happens. So hit the like buttons, guys, and comment down below. I love hearing from you. Have a great day. And I'll say goodbye from Australia. Bye, everybody. Bye.